Here we go, it's Monday morning, it's the day after Chelsea win, yet another game of football. Isn't this getting nice? Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. The fallout of the victory against Leicester has been pretty good again. The pressure is building right now on all of the other teams to start keeping up with Chelsea as we gain momentum leading into the end of the season. Before we get into anything today, be sure to subscribe to the George Benson football channel. I upload Chelsea news videos, Chelsea transfer news videos, reviews, previews, predictions, just straight up debate and anything really to do with Chelsea and football. So make sure you subscribe, hit the like button on today's video. I'm going to discuss the match that we've got coming up in the FA Cup semi-final against Manchester United, but I won't go into it in too much detail, because I've done a video over on Jan's channel. We're doing like by-match collabs, where one game it's on my channel, then it's on Jan, so go and check that out to see me talk about it in more detail with Jan. But Chelsea, after that win against Leicester City, we got Man United in the semi-final. Some people are freaking out about this because we've played United 3 times this season and they are the so-called bogey team, which, you know, we can buy into this if we want to. I've said many times this season, it looks as though Mr. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, aka the PE teacher as some people like to label him, has got Frank Lampard's number. He understands how to play against Chelsea. The way that United play has been favourable for them against the Chelsea side. But now they've got Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba operating together in the middle, I do think that the nature of the game is going to be very different, and United can now be more aggressive with the way that they attack, which could play into Chelsea's hands. We've seen this season countless times when Chelsea do play against teams that like to attack us, we're at our very best in those kind of scenarios. So even though people might be freaking out about Man United and we can't beat United and Ole, I actually think this is a good tie, and if you want to win the major competitions, you got to beat the best teams. So we've got to beat United to then probably play City in the final. I don't see Arsenal doing anything against Man City, and then who knows, we could have that fairy tale of Frank Lampard's Chelsea in season numero uno lifting the FA Cup. It's a beautiful story, but today I want to focus on a couple of our players who have actually had big parts to play in the return of football. I want to focus on Christian Pulisic, and I also want to focus on Ross the Boss Barkley. In many people's opinion, including mine, the forgotten man. There's been many times this season where I've made videos talking about Chelsea's midfield, talking about options, who should play where, and I've actually forgotten Ross Barkley on many occasions. So, slice of humble pie. I say that all this flipping time, but you get things wrong when you make videos every day. It's a natural occurrence, but Ross Barkley, let's start off with him. I do feel as though what we're seeing from Ross is him creating some serious issues for next season for Frank Lampard when it comes to making the decision about who plays in the attacking midfield. Yesterday, in the game against Leicester, I focused on this a little bit within 6 Things We Learn. We saw that Ross can sometimes get a bit carried away when Chelsea are counter-attacking. He sometimes makes the wrong call as opposed to when he should pass or when he should shoot, but Ross is always getting into good positions, and what we've seen since he's been introduced to the squad in a little bit more depth in the second half of, well, this year really, in 2020. When Ross Barkley's been in the team, he's more often than not been getting involved with the goals, and some would argue that in terms of his form, pre-corona and now post-corona, Ross is in arguably some of the best form of his career. So, in terms of what Chelsea are looking to do, I don't want to sit here and lie to you saying there's been any updates on any of the transfers that we've been talking about, because the football on the pitch has been doing the talking, as opposed to Chelsea being linked with this guy or Chelsea being linked with that guy, which obviously still heavily linked with Kai Havertz. We're linked with Said Benrahma of Brentford. There's loads of players that Chelsea are potentially linked with, but focusing on the players already on the pitch who are actually doing the business, Ross Barkley at the moment is playing himself straight into this Chelsea team. And I think the way that he does combine, we saw yesterday with Willian, it was a lovely little cross from Willian, who again is another one of those players who gets a bit of stick. Chelsea fans, do we want Willian to sign a new contract? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. But Willian is actually one of our top providers this season, and at the moment, with Ross Barkley being one of the top guys to score goals, it looks as though the combination that's doing the business for Chelsea right now is a combination of players that some fans, and maybe even Chelsea in general, won't be seeing at the club next season. Ross has been linked with moves to Newcastle, West Ham United, and at the moment, even though I've been getting carried away here on the George Benson football channel saying it would be nice to sign Havertz, it would be nice to get this guy, it would be nice to line up like this next season. If Ross keeps delivering, I believe that Frank Lampard is going to seriously consider him as part of his plans for next season. Frank speaks very highly of Ross, and in order for Chelsea to actually call upon him to change the game, it says a lot about the value that this Chelsea side have regarding Ross Barkley. When he came on yesterday, we looked a lot stronger in the middle. I said in the 6 Things We Learnt video that Billy Gilmour looked a little bit weak yesterday. We looked like we were being overpowered by the Leicester City midfield. A lot of that was also down to giving away the ball, but Ross Barkley, if we can just see more minutes from him, I feel as though he's just going to carry on getting better. Moving in to Christian Pulisic, I gave him a blue box in the 6 Things We Learnt video yesterday. I thought he was absolutely brilliant again, despite not scoring the goal or getting the assist. But the way that Pulisic is attacking, it is similar to that of Eden Hazard. I briefly touched upon this yesterday, but I wanted to make this video a little bit more today because, again, he's one of those players who I've been given a bit of stick by you lot this season for maybe not praising him as much as I should. But what we're seeing from Pulisic is this ability to change the game. And Chelsea, over the course of the last 5 or so years, or really ever since Eden Hazard entered the club, we've always been looking at one player to be the game changer, to be the man to spark a little bit of magic to make the difference. Now, what we're seeing now with Pulisic is this kind of quality. It's this ability to change the game with a little dink of the shoulder, with a little run. Pulisic's always looking to carry the ball. He's very smart and intelligent with the way he interplays the passes with people close to him, particularly Mason Mount. But the thing I love about Pulisic is the fearlessness to take on players. And now you start adding into that equation Hakim Ziyech with his different dynamic passing, with the long range passing that he can do. Cutting inside, we can see Pulisic drifting from the left, Ziyech coming in from the right. Chelsea are going to have so many creative, dynamic attacking players that it's going to be an absolute nightmare for opposition defences next season. And I think that what we're seeing Pulisic do now is make a serious statement to Frank Lampard saying, Timo Werner, when he comes into this Chelsea side, he's not taking my place, he's going to be taking Tammy's place. 2 minutes, bro. 2 minutes. So moving forward, it is going to be absolutely key that Pulisic continues this form. I've got no doubts in my mind that he will. And between now and the end of the season, Christian Pulisic is definitely going to be one of the first names on my Chelsea team sheet. So, another key thing that we saw yesterday that I didn't really touch upon that much within the 6 Things We Learn is Frank Lampard's steal. There's an article on the BBC that basically reiterated everything that I'd precursored to say in today's video, talking about how Chelsea, over the last 3 matches, both Villa, City and Leicester, we have shown that we're capable of winning matches in every kind of scenario. Let's be real, the football that we played yesterday against Leicester, it wasn't great. The first half was arguably one of the worst halves we've seen this season. The second half, it wasn't necessarily pretty and it wasn't that attractive, but we got the job done. And what we're seeing now is the serious foundations that Frank Lampard is setting here at Chelsea, so that when we do sign the players and we see the likes of Ziyech and Werner move into this Chelsea team for next season, we can then start manipulating the game plan. We can start adjusting the way that we approach games from the beginning. And at the moment, Frank is pragmatically getting everything so correct with the changes that he's making within the game that we can see something really starting to build. And I think that what this Chelsea team are doing right now is setting the concrete in motion and putting things together so that when the start of next season comes, we've seen it and people are sending me little videos and little memes and stats all the time about when Chelsea win the Premier League for another team, like when we did Spurs over to win Leicester the league, when we did City over to win Liverpool the league, the following season, Chelsea go ahead and win it themselves. And I'm not going to make a statement today saying that next season, Chelsea Football Club are going to win the Premier League. I do think we might be very close. And I think that this that we're seeing right now, these different ways that we're winning games, the different match winners that we're calling upon, is a very, very good foundation for Chelsea to move forward with. Someone's just started mowing the flipping grass outside, so I might just use that moment. What is that? Can you hear that? It's crazy. I might use this moment to wrap up today's video. I just wanted to go into a bit more detail about Mr. Barkley, about Mr. Pulisic, and about Mr. Lampard after yesterday's win. Keep the good vibes coming. Chelsea are on an absolute roll. We are on fire. I want to see that continue. Let me know your thoughts on the whole Willian thing. in the comments down below, because I plan on doing another video talking about Willian's potential importance for Chelsea. Should he sign a new deal? Going to address that in a video later on this week. But thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new and you're not yet already doing so for the GBFC channel so you don't miss a video. Hit the like button, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those are linked below. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.